Okay, good afternoon again. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We do maybe 10-minute meditation, Dzogchen meditation, as we went through the teaching, and I think we do about a 10-minute together. Then I will continue. Okay, I'm going to again do short prayer, shorter than this morning. If you know, join with me. Otherwise, again, continue meditate yourself, and then we begin teaching.
Sarvata Tanga Tambanarmami, Muntambanar Bawama, Samaya Sadu, oh, Umbanar Sadu, Misadu, 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 Umbanar Sadu, Misadu, 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 Umbanar Sadu, Zayebi, Zajemedo, Raling Yene, Jimban. Sanje yenda mede brvaye ndogananda yala jobrayo edang goren mandala kendriada ya me samjenam je sambada loye sebra jedro chejung tumu tugu chujeng holo gorodo zo rodeng goro jamse jabda karin songba me bedir kin kausan chujejer botan chi zawala me hebla gosong ke ba chi me gone samsalon chudo jabdo sanjela wonam de zo dane da ke ji sanju kana tonju jung kwa sam ni rakwa jar so do ne sin la do me ne se zambra sanji lo do zo orjun zolang be me dong bo lo ye je ru nam ro ro ni ne je do sen zo be ze yo do pe ma jong ne yao lo ge ben de un zan de ne do je zo ma hong de ge me wan da ye ya da da ben jong je song do Yubra ye ke do je la so ro an de je me de ngam jong song de je sa song dong do be be nom je Angel Dragon Bando Jin Hoy, Masala Yola Soro, the body Sanjip, and Meron Lum, Maya Durian, Gutaruchi, some Hiran, our Kenji Yola Soro, and the Sanjip, and then Yana, got the Sanjip, and a Lagungu, Savalama Yola Soro, Dasan Ravalona Chula, Nello, Toga Jibros and Jilu, Toga Jutro, the Tugi Yin Jutro, Reseton and Dembache, Jesula Mes and Jilu, Pochison Jovers and Jilu, Chilam Dovers and Jilu. Lantrovada or Tonake and Javrasi. Love the Zoikandas of Jedanga and you know, have the hill home rager working so that under Tombachu, Sambranda Batam Jen and the Layagan Lodan of Jinga, Rum, Dating Mayagan, Goagunja, Tamjega, the Daki chiefed into Salunda Hurricane Rachi, Yasuma, Jila, Senjinam Jeton, Damjana, Tambanam Jin, Senjinam Jeton, Dam. Tamanam Jenum Tadar, Simjinam Jeton, Dajana, Tambana, Nintazardo, Hijorogan Jetam, between the Jing, Sanju Jobakon, no, Yazambo Banabri, Mahongarbagon, the Jevara. Again, I just like to say, again, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you very much. Again, to be together and discussing the teaching of the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, and Guru Emma Sambhava, and exploring according to our capabilities in many ways is wonderful. It's not just so coincidental. Truly, we are connected to this lineage teaching. This teaching is your inheritance. You're connecting, recapturing, or reactivating, re-strengthening, re-glorifying that. Therefore, it is again, we feel great joy in appreciations. Really feel great joy in appreciation. Feel truly we are one of the fortunate beings on this planet and wonderful. So they have strengthened joy and appreciations. At the same time, not just joy and kind of localize that, but also expanded bodhicitta, vastness motivation of the bodhicitta to all the living beings, to everyone, because we all like to make some difference, some good things that we like to do the world, truly in our heart and mind. Therefore, extended that to every living being. In the Buddha's teaching, the number of the beings is limitless. There is no numbers. And of course, we see the human world. But beside that, the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni said, there is a realm of animals, realm of the others. Those are 6 realms. I'm not going to listen to those things. You all know that. So all beings, everyone is struggling. Everyone is having ups and downs. Really, they are just struggling with reality level. As we explore the Dzogchen teaching, is all delusion, all illusion. Delusion. There's nothing substantially solid existing. Yet we're struggling with the dream-like visions all the time. Everyone is doing. For that reason, extending the vastness motivation of the bodhicitta. And the subject level is vastness, object level is vastness, and the benefit is vastness. And the object level is vastness, as I said, number of the beings is
numberless. There is no numbers, according to the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni. And so our compassion, again, if we extended our power of compassion and bodhicitta has no boundary, unless it's ego clinging, duality restricted that. But we release that duality, break through that walls, and let that shine to all the living beings, then our love and compassion become vastness. Truly is then touching. Therefore, it's called power of the is vastness. It's also power of the bodhicitta that's limitless and boundless. We heard stories of how power of the bodhicitta is. Even we think one moment or 1 minute of the love and kindness, compassion thought from the heart, and it makes really difference. There's so many beautiful stories. I'm sure you know that, you read, you heard these things. Truly, those are true, very powerful. It's truly true. Even the smallest, 1 moment, 1 minute power of the compassion, truly in the heart, genuine that comes, it makes genuine benefit and affect that. So therefore, again, strengthening that qualities and bodhicitta is very important, very powerful. That is our practice. We are not just kind of putting that side track of our mainstream practices, but our mainstream practice of that, what Buddha taught, is like that is bodhicitta, is mainstream of the practices. And the joy and appreciation, those are mainstreams of the practices. Not just only kind of once in a while thinking that, but if we really bring that up all the way to the realization, that is our practices. For example, like what? I'm sure you heard this. Bodhicitta can be divided to, as we are discussing last night, relative truth in bodhicitta and absolute truth in bodhicitta. Dzogchen teaching is absolute true bodhicitta, absolute bodhicitta. For those reasons, many times in the Dzogchen teaching, named after bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. This bodhicitta is enlightened mind. So this bodhicitta is not just like kind of beginning thinking that, and then kind of, oh, we're going to go Dzogchen practice this. But if we lost the essence of bodhicitta, we're losing the essence of Dzogchen practices, or we're losing the essence of the Mahamudra practices. Mahamudra, Dzogchen, if we kind of intellectually thinking that, then we're losing the nutritious part of the Dzogchen meditation practice, because this is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is so powerful, so special. It's deeply rooted to our nature of the mind. It's a rising energy that. And therefore, relative truth in bodhicitta and absolute truth in bodhicitta, all those so important, so special. I mean, not just important, that is our practice, or those are our practices. Then with the purity understanding of nature, we're discussing Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, Nirmakaya. That is our practice. When we really touch to that nature, everything is the purity status, in a way, we open the door of the true nature from the between of the duality window. We open that window of enlightenment. We'll begin to shine Trikaya power from our heart and begin to shine to the world. That we are opening the window of the true nature, that which is Trikaya, which is residing in our heart. So therefore, always in the Vajrayana teaching, in particular Dzogchen teaching mentioned again in the police strengthening of the understanding or the realization of the Trikaya status. So therefore, these three, what I said, joy and appreciation, vastness, motivation of bodhicitta, more I'm thinking, or according to teaching, is more related to bodhicitta. With that, and the Trikaya realization. If we combine it together, we're not missing any nature. We completely kind of embrace the nature as it is. So we strengthen all those beautiful qualities, and that with that, if we reflect the teaching, then it's really become so special and beautiful. So just a thought to reminding that, and then we go to the teaching again. Teaching is again first according. I mean, this the agenda is not just His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche, but always the teaching said, foundation of the Dzogchen, view of the Dzogchen, and meditation and practice of the Dzogchen, a result of Dzogchen. And those are known as the foundation Dzogchen, Liu Dzogchen, meditation or path Dzogchen, I should say use the path, P-A-T-H, I think path Dzogchen and a result Dzogchen. That embracing the entirely practices, entirely natures. So that means ground is beautiful nature, view is beautiful nature, path is beautiful nature, and the result will be beautiful nature. Everything is nature. Therefore, but at the same time, why we need to have that, highlight that? But at the same time, our self is not completely connected with the nature because of the deviated by our own duality mind. We made our own perception. We made on our world in a way, delusion world, and we are clinging, struggling with that duality, world of duality, delusion that we created. It's just a part. It's not big things. It's, as for example, big weather storm comes. Weather storm is not happening all over the world, same thing what we're going through in the locally. It's a localized weather phenomenon that created, and we began to having the difficulties. But yeah, in bigger level of the environmental level, that is just a small happening. And the nature is pure. Nature is completely pristine, as we're discussing, and we through the teaching. It's originally liberated, originally pure, and never diluted, and never decreased, and never increased. It's just a beautiful, pristine as it is. That is what the really nature is. But our own creation of the duality then made all these fabrications. For that reason, great Master Mahon Rinpoche, one of the great teachers of the Tibetan Buddhism, or all time Buddhism said, we're trying to lasso the sky, or we're trying to hook, throwing the lasso in the sky, or tie up the sky. That we can never going to tie up the sky. We cannot tie the sky, except only making tiring ourselves. That's what our duality is, creations. Creation of duality is tiring, is boring, it is disparate, it is continually making kind of like always uncomfortable. Reality level pure. So therefore, since gracious teacher Buddha point out, we should touch back to our nature, reconnect back to nature as it is. And if we do that, the grasping duality is a fabrication. Our own duality, in fact, that duality, that grasping is never out of the nature. It's just only we grasping, we cling to that. That created that mother. Otherwise, duality itself is nature, connected with the nature, or is within the nature. Therefore, duality is emptiness. And grasping is the emptiness. There is no substantially solid existing graspings at all. That is, we also went through, we discussed it this morning, and I'm sure you received a lot of teachings from all the great masters there too. This is not just a theory and kind of intellectual ideas of the other side of the planet. We're talking nugget to our own realities. We're checking on our mind, how it is, what the duality, what the fabrication, what it is. We're really putting the intelligence of the clear light wisdom to this issue of this fabrication or this duality, whether this is truly existing or not existing. Teaching says it's not truly existence. So now, as teaching said, we are putting our intelligence, see it is true or not. And when we see it's true, the teaching said, and I examined, analyzed, it's true. The masters said, the thinkers said, all is like delusion or fabrication or emptiness. Then that is the bottom line of this. We went to the bottom of these issues and discovered. From now on, when we meditate, we don't have to analyze the intellect or this, that might be this, that. Simply with the full of confidence, full of certainty, full of surely, we joyfully meditate, relaxing, swimming on the pure nature of the as it is, relaxing in that status. That is. So for that reason, gracious teacher, when Buddha lay out of the teaching, grounded Dzogchen, Wu Dzogchen, and path Dzogchen, and a result Dzogchen. So we connected that place. As the ground is that origin, the basic nature is completely pure from the beginning. Therefore, now we're going to keep Wu as it is. Wu means what actually? In one way, Wu is kind of referred to more to subject. Subject means our own intelligence, our own mind. What our subject of the intelligence going to perceive the object of the great nature. So subject and object. Object is pure from the beginning, great emptiness, and the subject is also pure from the beginning and a great emptiness. Let that merge together, subject and objects. When subject and object merge together, there is no subject and object as two particles. Subject and object are merged in one single state, beyond the word, beyond any labels, beyond the dogmas, beyond the names, beyond the traditions. When we behold that nature, we behold that exactly true nature as it is. From that on, when you discover or when you realize that nature, when you see that, then we are going to maintain that view. That maintaining that view is as we went this morning, that is a path known as path Dzogchen. Path Dzogchen is then what? Can be divided to meditation and conduct. Meditation and conduct. That is both are keeping up the view, maintaining that ground, our understanding. And we continue meditate. Now, and that for that reason, also when you reach high realization, such as a gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, or the Ngurapema Sambhav, or Longchenpa, there is no difference between the meditation and post-meditation. All merged together, they're completely united. There is no two natures. Nature is the same, whether it's post-meditation or whether it's meditation state. There is no different meditation. But according to our capability and because of our duality, then gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni made beautiful kind of way we can understand meditation state, post-meditation status. So meditation state, we continue keeping up that view exactly as it is, with the beautiful kind of, call it meditation. Call it meditation is relax. Rest and relax, as we use the word R and R and R. Relax in that nature state, freely that, without any restrictions, without any kind of trying to do something, and without force. And for those reasons, in the Dzogchen teaching, always mentioned, relax, rest, and uncontrived, or not fabricated. Just simply relax. For those reasons, trying to clarify and to point out to us in the teaching, often said, let it come, let it be, and let it go. Just carefree, relax, naturally, as it is, without distracted. Distractions is then we carried by force of duality. For that reason, in the Dzogchen teaching said, when you meditate in the view meditation, Dzogchen meditation, there's nothing to meditate. No meditation is the meditation, in teaching said. What that means, there's no forceful, no structural, nothing to do, just simply relax on that nature. Simply swinging in that nature as it flows, as it is. That is relax. And then keep the awareness, keep that momentum, keep that. And we keep that awareness, that is called free from distractions. Then we are not distracted. Relax on that. So that is what we continue to keep in there. This is still we're going talking about the meditation status. Meditation. Meditate. If we continue to stay here, for example, His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche said, we continue to relax in that nature status. The duality is being our obstacle, or the most obstacle, powerful obstacle from the beginner's times until now. But when we relax on that nature status, that duality is instantly liberated, merged back to the great original nature status without any trace. And he used example here, burning feathers. Feather, F-E-A-T-H-E-R, I believe, feather. When burning the feather, when put a fire, feather in the fire, and he mentioned, I never did actually, maybe you all know that, but in the teaching said, has no ashes or nothing really to see. It's just gone. Similarly, the duality is, when you relax in that Dzogchen nature state, Dzogchen status, the naturally duality which been the most powerful obstacle to us from the beginner's time, made all troubles and dragging us down to all areas of the 6 realms, is now gone. That is gone completely. That powerful, the obstacle, powerful enemy, powerful hindrance, who dragged us all over the 6 realms, is now vanished in the Dharmakaya, or the great wisdom status. How wonderful that it is. How beautiful it is. That, for that reason, have the great joyful effort, and with full of devotions, do the practices. When we meditate in Dzogchen meditation, it's not intellectually we are trying to engage in something. If we like to have realization, we have to become very soft heart, tender heart, and with great appreciation to the lineages. Therefore, devotion is important. If we like to change the way we are now, without the devotions in bodhicitta, we won't go far. We will be still caught in the boundary of the dualities. We trapped at that. But if we like to break through that, the devotion is so important. Every teaching said, there's no one great master who reached realization without the devotions. You read life story of everyone's. If there's no devotions, we are still intellectual states. We are theory, we are thinking, we analyze, we analytic that. That more we analyze, more we thinking, more conception, more thought. More conception, more thought. There is just a ripple of thoughts coming one after another. Now enough is enough. We have to settle down to the nature and discover our innate nature and feel great joy and appreciation, devotion. Devotion to the lineage, devotion to the teaching, and joy and appreciation of who we are, what we are. We should not carry it by the force of those dogmas of all this. Even we think we are so smart or we like to do this and that thing. But reality level, we are fooling ourselves, fooling ourselves. So therefore, devotion is important. For those reasons, I'm sure you all heard this. To do Dzogchen meditation, Dzogchen practice, do the Mundo practices. Do those four train of the mind practices. 4 train of the mind teachings, generally what that is, the beginning. It's like essence of the 4 noble truths. But gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni gave 4 noble truth teaching. First, to truth. Suffering truth, cause of suffering truth. That is the essence of that is 4 point of the training of the minds, or sometimes translated 4 renunciations. That is what it is. We should reflect those. Those will make more ourselves more prepared to observe and discover our innate nature, beautiful nature. If we carried by the intellectuals, always thinking this and that, and trying to choose and trying to picky, kind of this and that, all things, then we just leave this world with that attitude, that thought. But what we achieved? What we achieved? People know maybe nothing achieved. Really. Even you receive all the teachings, all the vastness, important, deep teachings, then we will leave world with that. With that. And for those reasons, great master, one of the very famous teacher known as Karma Chami, he said, if you don't practice with more devotion and more joy and appreciation, then we don't get any realization, and it looks like we died. He used the example, the person who died with a very beautiful glacier, like by the thirst, right? Thirsty, died with thirsty. And right nearby the beautiful clean glacier water, beautiful spring water, died that. And never drank, and died with thirsties. Like that. Or he also in the teaching said, if you don't practice and meditate, even you know all the bank accounts of the rich peoples, how many they have money, this and that, and all these things, what that will help to you? Help. Also maybe we can help with modern times, what called this Forbes magazine? Forbes. F-O-R-B. It is true? What? Yeah, maybe Forbes magazine. Maybe we can let us support their articles. How much money they have, all this. But reality, what will it help us to day to livings? Does it help to our mortgages, our telephone bills? Nothing. It's nothing going to help. Same as if you know all the teachings, all this, if you don't practice it, it's just intellectual. It's blowing air in the brain and went to other directions. Therefore, observing, we have to be practical. We have to have kind of really common sense, kind of make more sensible, more kind of practical, more practical, and more kind of like make ourselves something really meaningful of this life. So therefore, practicing and be in that status. Also practicing nothing kind of strange religious or other religious dogma. Reality we're talking to connect to our own nature. What that has to do in a tradition or religions, to connect it to our own nature, to explore the love and compassion and kindness and be open heart and open mind, has nothing to do with the religion, this and that things. You can be any religion, be anything. Nothing have to be changed by that to connect to our nature. Maybe even you become more better religious person, whatever you believe, and more traditional person. Have that. That is what really is teaching said. So therefore, just with those beautiful thought and then practices, that is. And therefore, and again, always in his great master, His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche said, therefore, for kind of be always thoughtful. We always more aware of this, or aware of every our kind of how our meditation is. Be relaxed and calm, peaceful, yet always have the awareness and not let distract us. Many times in the teaching said, conception or thought is Dharmakaya. As many as you have thought, that much Dharmakaya is expressed. It's true. Reality level is true. For beginner practitioner, we should not let come thought as it is. We should always release, liberate it. Otherwise, we will be carried by the force of the thought. For that reason, he said that thought, and here great master, his own Dongyal Rinpoche said, even though thought are the display of the Dharmakaya, but until we got the strength of the meditation of Dzogchen or Mahamudra, until that, we should not let thought kind of rule our all mind or the nature of meditation. So be relaxed and be be thoughtful and be awareness, be awareness. When we continue now meditating, and as in this talking status, then realizations will come. Realizations come, and the dawn of the realization is always in the teaching mentioned. Mentioned the three experiences that will come. Those are the blissfulness experience, clarity experience, and the neutral experience. These three experiences will come up, appears. But even though those are the great experiences, again, we have to be very, very thoughtful with those three experiences. That could become, again, become the source of dualities. It can carry away us from the view and the meditation or the meditation. So therefore, always thoughtful, even those are good, even those good. What means blissfulness? For example, now when we're meditating, relaxing beautifully, and our stabilization of the meditation is quite good. We have quite our calm and peaceful, really nice, and moving forward very nicely. Now those experiences are coming. These experiences are the sign of the progress, sign of the development. It's good. But however, if we start clinging onto that, then it is, again, another duality is begin to carry away us, because due to our old habit patterns. Anything it comes up, we start grasping, clinging onto that. And so therefore, even as a sign of the meditation such as blissfulness, it is then could become hindrance. What is blissfulness? Blissfulness, I think you know, blissfulness is blissfulness. But blissfulness is not just always blissfulness. It brings calm. It's good, calm, peaceful, soothing, appealing, comfortable, or so nicely. And that realization, that results are coming up, which is wonderful, which is very good. But if we start grasping, clinging onto that, whether it's peaceful, we start clinging on the peaceful, whether we start grasping for the very comfortable, whether we start clinging to the blissfulness, and whatever that is grasping, that could lead us pull down and become hindrance. So therefore, even those experiences comes up, continually relax ourselves in the nature is as exactly we started, with the relax, rest, with the full of devotion, full of bodhicitta, and let that go. And then when it's in the teaching, it said, when you let it go, it reactivated our clarity and beauty of the meditation, become more pristine, more clear, more brilliant. And continue now meditate. And the opposite of that, again, experiences. Not just always blissfulness. In the teaching, often said, those great masters, when they practice meditate in the peace instructions, that opposite of blissfulness also can come. Opposite of blissfulness is what? Unblissfulness, uncomfortable, and unpeaceful. And the thoughts are rushing, thoughts are bouncing, and so many natural occurrences happening externally, internally, in the psychological level. Really, so many provocations is also just bumping up one after another. Again, if we caught with that, same thing, then it has become grasping. Caught means if we grasping on that, it's a hindrance, it's an obstacle. It will pull down us again back to the samsara. So therefore, whether it is a peace, blissfulness experience, whether it is unblessed experience, let that go. We should remain as fearlessness status. We should remain in free from hope and fears. Hope and fears are the dualities. Both are dualities. Hoping something and don't want something. It's duality games. We've been doing that from the beginner's times. According to Greg's teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni's teacher, been doing this. Now is enough. Enough is enough. Continue relaxing, fearlessness. Then in the teachings, that we continue to relax with full of joy, devotion, and bodhicitta, and continue to maintain that. Then brilliant sunlight really comes. Sunlight again will shine. Brilliant sun, beautiful sun comes. Again, continue to meditate. Continually meditate and be in that state. Meditation is not structurally forceful and kind of meditation I mentioned so many times. We went through, and you know this. Relax the same way. Then another experience comes. Those are known as clarity experiences. Very kind of clarity. Now, more open, more wise, more clarity. And it's just a kind of everything becomes so luminosity state, is an inner experience. And also outer experience in a way, almost you can see through the walls. Or see far further than that. Kind of mind has become more bright, more clarity. Those are known as clarity experiences. And also could come some other side of the clarities, unclarity, more dull, more kind of thought, more emotions that hover in the mental status. That also could come. Either sides, again, same as a blissfulness experience. Fearlessness, relaxing the net, re-strengthening, reactivating our joy and devotion and bodhicitta, and remembering the instruction and teaching as like this manual. Remember that, applying that, and continue to meditate. Then we go from that turbulence. We go through that in a way. That. And the next stage of the realization, next stage of the realization or experience is then no thought experience. Completely become now thoughtless. So calm, so peaceful. Looks like there's no turbulence at all. That. And very bad. Or opposite of that also become kind of dull, very dull. And it's just kind of what happened. So almost become kind of numbness status. All that could come. These all are generally sign of the progress. It's nothing bad. For example, when we driving from here to Poland to the East Coast, how many, you want to see always the big, this what's called, this redwood sceneries. And there's so many sceneries, stages you will see throughout going to the East Coast. Not always the same. But when you see that all different stages, that means you're moving. You're going the directions. So it's the same thing. When we take this journey of the inner journey, there's so many different varieties of the signs come one after another. Looks like sometimes very uplifting and appealing. Sometimes it looks like kind of a discouragement and feel what is there happening, all this. But all is a sign of the development and progress. We continually meditate, continually practice. With the view is fearlessness. For those reasons, Great Master Jigme Lungpa said in his teachings, the I, great crazy wisdom yogi, the fearless crazy wisdom yogi, the who understand the completely equal of the both samsara and nirvana as one taste. That's what he said. That is re-strengthening, reactivating that courage, that confidence, that commitment, that view in the heart and mind, and move forward. Continue to maintain that. Then realization really comes, dawns one after another. When the realization is building, is shining in our heart, now without like so many hindrances and obstacles, then it's not going to change. For that reason, in the great master, Garab Dorje and other Dzogchen masters said, realization is like sky, never going to change then. It is going to be as it is. But even still that, even if we got the highest realization, there is still some signs and indication of this and that things comes. That's a part of the stages, part of the practices. Even, for example, when we read life story of the Buddha Shakyamunis, Buddha Shakyamuni is, according to the teaching of the Mahayana, he already enlightened beings. Buddha Shakyamuni is a Nirmakaya Buddhas. Nirmakaya Buddha. To have the Nirmakaya Buddha, have to attain the first Dharmakaya, according to the teaching of the Mahayana or the Tantra. First Dharmakaya, then the Rupakaya appeared. Rupakaya is a Sambhokaya and a Nirmakaya. So that is what the really realization is, how that comes. But even the Rupakaya, for example, Nirmakaya Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, when he meditated under the Bodhi tree, we read in the life story in the teaching how many obstacles came to Buddha Shakyamuni's. Frighteningful obstacles and very luxurious, appealing sensory obstacles show up to prevent his realization in the teaching said. Even the Buddha has those obstacles. Just really the final stages, according generally in the Mahayana teaching, generally Mahayana in a way, is the stage of that to reach Buddhahood. Okay? Even he got those obstacles. And we will have, for example, all these great masters, even their highest realizations, read life story of Longchenpas, also had difficulty, troubles. And as well as also great master Malarepas, other masters can have those obstacles. But however, they're not crushed by that. That obstacles made glorify their realization, their understanding, and their qualities. It's not become the hindrance. That is the beauty and a sign of the great practitioners. So we continually move with this, and that is known as then Dzogchen practitioners. Dzogchen practitioners. And finally here, great master says, so when you reach then you reach that, and here, when you reach the highest realization, or when you reach to the Dharmakaya stable realization, then naturally you relax in the Dharmakaya status completely. The sign of that, your love and compassion is like ocean. Ocean like compassion and love are arising waves and the tides and the ripples of the ocean. It's just continually coming out. There's no enlightened beings without the compassion and love. And the great master Atisha said, one time, Atisha, the foremost disciple of Atisha is known as Dromtompa Jervum Junings. Dromtompa asked to Atisha, "O great masters, when great compassion will arise when you have the emptiness realization. When you have the emptiness realization, I should say this way. When you have the emptiness realization, when you see the true nature of the great emptiness, then when will have the compassion?" Ati said, the compassion and emptiness realization comes same time, spontaneous together. And that's what the great master Ati said. Same way, when you got the realization, when whoever have the realization, that individual become perfect human beings, sensible, common senses, humble, simple, full of love, full of compassion, full of thoughts. Yet realization of the understanding is perfectly brilliant as sky. There is no territories, no limitations, boundaries. And that is filled with great compassion, loving kindness, and wisdoms. That is known as the realizations, as His Holiness the Nyurmaji here said. That is a realization. And that individual has no distinction between samsara and nirvana. Samsara and nirvana. Samsara and nirvana are merged together as one single status. In fact, reality level, great Master Maharaj said in the teaching said, there is no samsara beside dualities. Duality is samsara. The moment we despaired or the moment liberated the duality, that moment samsara, nirvana becomes same. Same, there is no difference. So therefore, no samsara beside the dualities. So therefore, samsara and the nirvana or the pure land in the world become the same. For that reason, for example, Buddha Shakyamuni or the Guru Brahma Sambhava, this world is pure land. It's not pure land, have to go somewhere and be in pure land. This world is pure land. For those reasons, what in the teaching often said, perfect places, perfect teacher, perfect retinue, and perfect time, perfect teachings. What that means everything is enlightened state for them, for their view. Because for us, we are that to become that realization, to have that realization. Our wisdom is blocked by the cataracts of the dualities. Cataracts of duality is blocked. So our vision is not the way things are. Our vision is because duality is impure. Duality is obscurations. Therefore, we see the world is kind of impure. World is trouble. World is a difficulty. World is so many problems. That's what we see duality. Reality level, world is pure land. As in the Dzogchen teaching said, it's three Kaya states, not just three Kaya states, always. So, for that reason, for those great practitioners, then don't have any difference. All that, everything in that nature status. And then, so that time, then is nothing to do. Nothing to do. You reach to the beyond the duality, went to be, and there's nothing to do. For those reasons, in general, in Buddha's teaching, always said, no more starting, path of no more startings. 5 paths. I'm sure you heard whenever you know this, 5 paths. 5 paths, 5th path is named no path of no more startings. This means no more, nothing to do more. It's complete, final goal, final achievement, final result. From that on, everything is merged. We don't have to be sorting out, or this I want, that I don't want. The all is blended in that beautiful, perfect, pure, the nature, simple as it is. That status. So that is what really it is. In that time, then you discover fully according to Dzogchen from your own nature, the beautiful nature, the residing nature of the enlightenment, call it, which is often known as youthful West body, that we discover that individuals. Then you become finally great enlightenment, or simply you become simple, normal individuals as should be. Simple. That's really, truly, that's what we are. Then that is realization. So that is really of the nature of this. Now again, I talk briefly about it and just talk how you apply this meditation. This in Dzogchen teaching generally said, I'm sure you all practicing. You all practicing basic practices such as Hundo and read the teachings of this. And so therefore, if you like to continue to practice Dzogchen. And Dzogchen has generally two practices. Those are known as Tukchu practices and Toga practice. What we went through teaching, this teaching of the mountain retreat teaching is teachings on the Tukchu practices. Tukchu, I'm sure many of you know, Tukchu means cutting thoroughly or instantly duality without a subject and object. That is the meaning of the Tukchu practices. So when you do the Tukchu meditation, it's simply relaxing as we went through so many times. I said so many times, I repeated that. But often in the teaching said, if you like to really practice and meditate on the Dzogchen Tukchu, must do in the 3 immovable ways. 3 immovable ways. Immovable of the body, immovable of the senses, immovable of the rupa. This rupa is the awareness. 3 immovables. And I'll go into a little bit details of this, 3 immovables. Immovable of the body means relaxing your body with the good postures. Posture that won't give any uncomfortable. Relax. That is, for example, lotus posture or semi-lotus posture or Vajra postures. Whenever you're sitting, or sitting comfortable on the chair. But however, back spine straight up. Next are keeping up according line in the S7 posture of Buddha Vairocana. I'm sure whenever you know that. So postures. That is. And so relaxing that posture without kind of uncomfortable. be comfortable. That is known as immovable of the bodies. Body immovables. Second immovable is immovable of the senses. Senses, that means how many senses we have? 6 senses. And then particularly 5 senses externally operating, and 6 senses is innerly operating. 5 senses are connected with 5 organs. Those are known as the 5 senses. And then 5 senses, or the 5 organ through the 5 organ, 5 senses, well, whatever bring the whatever the message, 6 senses is analyzing. 6 senses is kind of like sorting out everything, whatever that is. And this time, immovable senses. So that means we went through many times. Let it come, let it go, let it be, and not sense. In the Dzogchen teaching, particularly in the mentioned teaching, said, I open the eyes. If it's not bothering you, open the eye, then open the eye. I open the eye clearly looking to the space. We don't have to stare in the space, but just open the eye. Eye is, among all the senses, eye is one of the most important senses. Eye is, according to Dzogchen teaching, it is the window of light. It is the window of light. The principal window of light, the window of clarity. So don't close the window of light. We like to keep the meditation more clear, more brilliant, more fresh. For that reason, keep the eye open. Then in the teaching mentioned also, this open eye has a lot of effect to the heart. Heart and opening the heart chakra, open heart center, all those really, it says so many emphasize in the Dzogchen teaching, open eye is it. At the same time, open letter mouth if you can. If it's again, if not it's not uncomfortable. Slightly open the eye. Let breathing come from the mouth. Slowly. And this most of the time, the passage of the breathing is nostrils. But nostril is more connected to the dualities. But let mouth breathing come to the mouth in the teaching said. And that will more connect to the central channel, also teaching said. So if it's not bothering, and let air come from the mouth. So that is it's called immovable senses. Then immovable of the rupas. Now immovable rupa means awareness. Rupa is not, that means not following the thoughts. Relax as is building in the sky. Sky that is free from the dust, cloud, and smoke or dust. Building in the sky as autumn sky, often use examples. Keep awareness like that and without, and not looking past, not looking in the future, or thinking of the past, thinking of the future. Simply relax on the present, fresh, naked status. Relax on that status. Do this meditation with that style meditation. And teaching say, really it has very strong effects. But of course, to do this practice, same procedures. Since we are doing meditation, since we now connect to the Dzogchen, or those who like to follow, we develop soft heart, tender heart, with the devotion, with the joy and appreciation. Those reasons, I'm sure many of you know, those are calling Lama paths. This is not just a dogma, not just a kind of like trying to do something, but really connect to the heart, to the lineages. This teaching, what we're discussing, is not teaching by just from His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche. It's a teaching continually long-lasting, stainless teaching, and like as the golden mountain or the what's called that? Or the stainless, as the golden mountains, chain of golden mountains of lineage master, most of the love and the compassions and the wisdoms, infinite love to all the sentient beings, infinite compassion for all living beings, wisdom that understands perfect the meaning of the way things are, combined together, that completely illuminated themselves and continually shared that. this chain of lineage. We are connected to that lineage. Truly honor and respect, appreciate, and we really like to make the difference. Devotion is so important. And then with the bodhicitta and do those hundo practice as you receive the instruction from the greater masters. Really, those are they not just talking that casually, communist level? These are words of the lineage masters. All the teaching. They practiced, they meditated, they went through that and become that enlightened beings, that go great masters. And they through their compassion, they through their loving kind, shared us that teaching. So we are now today connected to that great lineage teaching. Therefore, activating those qualities. Then we do maybe some calling Lama Pa, all those practices if you know those. Really, just sincerely you want to develop practices. Not just trying something. We like to practice. We like to make the difference. We like to make a difference to myself. I like to difference to the whole world. I like to change this universe. Really to do something kind of sincerely think with that, and then meditate and practices. Then the realization and the dawn, all those comes one after another. So that is really practices of the principal part of the practices. Then the next one is how we conduct now. How we're going to be keep up the conducts. That is generally during the meditation or during the practices, but at the same time in the post meditation, how that is. So this instruction is for both during the meditation or practices and during the also post meditation when we engage it to the world externals, how we keep. This conduct is many times, many practitioners, we can always think, conduct is secondary and practice and meditation are principles. That's what we really think many times. One way is true, but other way is not true. Conduct and practice are equally important. In fact, in the teaching said, conduct will boost up the realizations. Conduct, if we maintain the good conduct, that will boost up the realization. That means the opposite meaning. What means? If we don't keep the conduct as it is, the practitioner will fall down in the ditch. So that means instead of boost up, it will jeopardize our practices. Therefore, conduct is so important. Conduct is also known as skillful means. Skillful means practices. For example, what that means, now we know, for example, we know the meditation. Meditation, what we're meditating. So we know the view, we know the ground, for example, ground, we know the ground dzogchen, we know the ground, we know the dzogchen, view dzogchen, and now we're practicing dzogchen. And if we apply the conduct, it will boost up as a skillful means. And the teaching said, for example, if we have to go to the again, if we use East Coast. Now you know the direction, you know how to get there, where is that, you all mapped out everything you know. So now you start going. That is practices. But now if you use the techniques, such as ancient time, they said riding horse is the most speed up that. So riding horse is like conduct. Or in other words, conduct is driving your car instead of walking. That will speed up to get final goal of the East Coast over that. So this conduct is really so important. It's important, very important. And therefore here, conduct, and then it is also mentioned samayas. And many of you know the samayas, the conduct. And the samaya and the conduct are generally similar. There's nothing big difference. The Vajrayana teaching often mentioned as samaya, and generally the Buddha's teaching mentioned also as conduct. They are very much connected. They are not. nothing to big difference between each others. And for that reason, conduct is now, if we kind of summarize, general kind of explanation of the conductors in Buddhism, Buddha's teaching, what is conduct is among the 6 paramatas, is morality, is conduct. Morality, conduct, ethics, behaviors, I think maybe those are all synonyms. And morality can be divided into 3. Those are known as the morality that will preventing all the negative activities, directly, indirectly. That is one. And morality that will gather all the virtues. Morality that will gather all the virtues, activity, directly, indirectly. And morality that will perform the beneficial activity to all the beings, directly, indirectly. Those are known as the principal moralities of the in the general in Mahayana teachings. Morality that were preventing all the negativity directly, indirectly. What is negativities? Negativity is all those negativity, that intention through the negative emotions, whatever activity we do or whatever that happened, it is hurting one's own self, it will hurt to the others, and then indirectly it will hurt everyone. So that is what's called negative activity that will hurt everyone direct. So now in the conduct of here, what we do, morally, we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to stop that negative activities. Instead of performing the negative activity, then what we do? We're gathering all the virtuous activities. Virtuous, good thoughts. What is good activities? Good activities are completely based upon, again, bodhicattas, good heart activities, trying to do as much as we can do. And then, what is performing the beneficial activities? Beneficial activity is based upon completely with the bodhicitta, with love and with compassion, really whatever you can do. From the mental level to the physical or verbal level, whatever we can do. According our capabilities, according readiness of others, without the pressure to anyone. To our side, to other side, we move forward. But always lifting up the levels, always inspiring, always encourage to ours. Whatever we able to do, going to benefit activities, whatever we can do, always acknowledge ourselves, even no one's acknowledge us. You should be happy and joy what I did, what I able to do. By the blessing of the Buddha and Guru and Masamba, all enlightened beings, may I able have more capability to perform more powerful benefit activity next day, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Really wishing that. That is called inspiring ourselves. Acknowledge ourselves. Not just acknowledge ourselves in the eye of Buddhas. We are doing some good activities if you did that. Buddhas are never open, see everything as clearly as it is. So they are acknowledged too, definitely. Truly, inspire ourselves, acknowledge. If something's happened that which is not really suitable, needs not beneficial, negative related that, immediately trying to recognize that. Recognize it without any kind of excuse, this and that. Negativity is negativities. And is it disturbing one's own self, disturbing to the others. Others, and therefore acknowledge that and trying to purify that. To the major sadhu practices, or generally in Mahayana Buddhism, 35 practices of the Buddha, or 35 Buddhas. Those prayers, whatever, all the prostration and circumambulances, prayer, meditation, really cleansing, purify that. At the same time, again, in the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Guru and Masamba, may I never repeat that again tomorrow. May I be able to maintain perfect morality, perfect conduct that will benefit to every living being, and that make me also happy and joy. May have that capability. Kind of wish that sincerely from the heart and mind. When with that attitude, be humble, be simple, don't bow down to the earth. Even we have the highest realization, as in his own Dongyal Rinpoche said. Even here, his own Dongyal Rinpoche said the quotations. Even with the highest realization of like sky-like Dzogchen meditation, but our conduct level should be so settled, so thoughtful, as fine as flowers. Flowers, F-L-O-U-R, flower, I think. Flowers, fine as flowers. That is the really great teaching of Ngorop Emma Sambhava. When Ngorop Emma Sambhava came to Tibet the first time, or when he came, they met first, King Tsewang Dongyal and Ngorop Emma Sambhava. Ngorop Emma Sambhava sang the songs. And one of the songs said, I'm the Lama. I'm the Lama Pema Yunim. My realization is vast as the sky, but my conduct level is so settled, so fine as flowers. Therefore, I am Lama Pema Yunim. I'm teaching. See, that is really the truth. And we should be, even you have the highest realization, even you have the vision, even you have all these different things, we should be humble. Humble, simple, down to the earth, more polite, more respect, more appreciation. And we have that. Those are the part of the practice. Those are the teaching. Those are the moralities. We're not carried by the force of our arrogance, ego clinging. Truly Saturn don't. Ego clinging, arrogance is part of the ego clinging. Ego is always kind of big, always important, always in the kind of both, even in the midst of all the groups, each of thinks I'm important. That's what the ego is. Everyone is important. I feel that. That is part of the duality, arrogance. But humble and simple. Simple is beauty. It's called it. Read the life story of the Buddha. The Buddha there's nothing higher realization than the Buddha Shakyamuni in the Buddhism. Really, nothing. But Buddha Shakyamuni walks with the bare feet that we read in the teachings, and carrying his own bags and his own shawls or the robes, and his own begging bowls or alms bowls. With the bare feet, together with going to the Sangha members to the city and for the lunch. I mean, that tells. And all the masters, those really, when you read life story, how they're humble, simple. Even their realization is so big and so vastness, but yet they're so humane, so humble, so simple, not kind of bumping up this and that and claiming this and that thing. Really so simple, so humble. Those are the true examples of all the practitioners. We like to follow their footsteps. We like to become like that, their realizations. So therefore, those are very important. And then keeping the samayas and all this conduct is also so important, because it is what's that's called this samaya, and all these instructions are actually how to keep up the practice, how we keep up the growth to keep the practices. So this samaya and these guidelines are really in a way what's called the tips of the how to maintain that beauty, that quality, that achievement. That is the samaya is tips. For example, when we see the beautiful flowers in those nurseries, we were so attracted that. And we buy those flowers, beautiful flowers. But every flower, those pots, comes with the tips. And if we keep that, follow these tips, that beauty of the flower remains. It will bring more beautiful flowers. But if we don't follow that tips, whatever said, then a result. What will happen? Then all flower looks like so sad, like hanging down their head, and finally maybe disappeared. That all gone, because we did not follow the tips. So this samaya is this guidelines. This conduct is really like tips, how to keep the beauty and the glory and the flourish of our goal and the realizations. So therefore, it is. That's very, very important. That's so important, and that is will boost our realization and understandings. And then, and then also in the teaching said, now when we continue practice and meditate, some got kind of good realizations comes. good realization as we went in earlier. Those different realizations, such as clarity realization, and blissfulness realization, and no thought realization. Those are expanded that. And then kind of like our sense, our realization is growing, and therefore, in some degree, because of that power of that, some other people feel that too. Kind of, oh, that person is a good practitioner. That person is good, has good realization, is soft heart. And then maybe people are kind of supporting, helping, or liking you to that. And then some degree of maybe some visions are coming too. Some nice dreams are coming too. And then also you feel, oh, I'm quite good now. People like me too. My dream is quite good, and my vision is quite good, and I feel good. I feel good. I must be quite good. And so you really kind of like you encourage, you emphasize, acknowledge that I'm quite good. And because that again come maybe more those kind of like more kind of good things are coming one after another. And now you feel kind of I'm really quite good. And then we feel some degree of the little bit kind of feel something special, important. Then there's a lot of good things, kind of like some external achievements are also happening. And people are saying, oh, you must be quite good. You must be quite really some emanations or some kind of this because you did all these things. And then you yourself also feel, oh, must be good, true, I am something. Some said that I am good. I said this, always like that. Those are in the teaching said, those are, when that comes, those practitioners should be very careful. Generally, when those practitioners, generally what we care, always in the teaching here, he's on Dongyal Rinpoche said, there is the kind of difficulty, trouble comes. Trouble comes, is easy to recognize that. But when the good things come, it's difficult to recognize that is a hindrance. Then it becomes bigger and bigger, and then we carried by force of the devils. Those are devils, I'm sure you know it, but I will list the name, those, and then I will go on that. So first is what? Demon of the aggregates, demon of the emotions, demon of the deaths. The fourth one is a demon of the distractions. And maybe I can translate it that demon of the appealing sensory pleasure objects. Demon of the sensory pleasure objects that arise. When that demon, even a great practitioner, great, really quite good realization beings are pulled down by the demon of the pleasure, sensory pleasure objects. That so many times happen. Therefore, don't court with that. Don't court that. Again, when these things happen, you should re-strengthening your bodhicitta, your devotions, your humilities, your humblenesses, to be down to the ground, down to the earth, not carried by whatever happening externally. Then it become more and more deeper and strong. Really, there was anything came, it won't disturb our practices. So those are very, very, very important. And with that, then definitely, truly, we made meaning for our lives. And whatever it is, then really we made beautiful life in a lifetime. We made beautiful kind of things. We changed quite good. According to our capabilities, we've been happy and contento, and we leave this world with that, without any kind of regret, all the feel guilty, and all that, and then you're strengthening that. So that is really of this how to maintain in a thought like this conduct level very briefly, and be and ourselves more simple and humble, and carry the practices. Practice and be that way, and benefit all the beings as much as you can. And that is really my teachings for today. Now, if you have some questions, I'm happy to discuss. Yes?
Thank you, Rinpoche, for teaching this beautiful teaching today. I have a question. Would you consider faith, faith, F-A-I-T-H, faith, the same as devotion?
Yes, it's very similar, really similar. Devotion, faith is just more connected with the confidence, and the devotion is maybe a little more connected with the joy and appreciations, but reality level, both are very similar.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Same.
I have a question on devotion. It really, and I'm new to Tibetan Buddhism. I've just started very short time ago. But I just do not understand why devotion is considered a critical part of a path. And I don't understand who it's devotion to. And if it's to the Buddha, etc., why would they care?
No, that's true. Really, they don't care. It's not that we're doing these devotions generally. We're not doing that because Buddhas want that. But devotion is we're doing because for our realizations, for our achievements. As what we mentioned quite a few times, what is devotions? I think maybe devotion is joy and appreciations. Joy and appreciation, and then confidence too. That three beautiful qualities of the mental combined together as devotions. So we like to have the joy and appreciation to our practices, our meditations. And then same time we like to joy and the devotion to all the lineage masters. So devotion goes both ways, not just one way. Devotion to ourselves, devotion to the others, subject and object, and that combined together, then we begin to settle down our ground where we belong, or where we spiritual ground, what we practice. So therefore, that is really devotion. Devotion generally, as you say, is true. Buddhas who did that, they don't care of the devotion or not devotion at all. But however, to activate our realization, my realization, then according to the teaching, devotion is really very crucial and important. Because when you have the devotion, as I said, you have the joy, you have the appreciations. Joy and appreciation goes both directions. Both. You should feel joy of ourselves. We're going to practice it without the joy. Joy, we're going to practice with joy and appreciation to ourselves, who I am, what we are, and what situation and circumstances we are. And that is more related with the subject, ourselves. Also with joy and appreciation we are going to have to the objects, such as like Buddhas, but not just the Buddha, all the lineages. This teaching is taught, according to teaching, taught in 2,600 years ago. Who continue to carry that teaching? There's so many dedicated practitioners who practice that joy and appreciations and confidence. And by that, they inspired themselves, they illuminated themselves. And that went to the next stage, that went to the next stage, that went to the next stage, and continue. So today we are connected to that line, that chain. Therefore, we're going to also joy and appreciate and thankful, more gratitude, more graceful. It's not just our kind of, oh, I'm powerful, I got this, I'm just that. That maybe is one way, that's true, but it's not. Truly that we are connected. We are humbled by these great teachings, that great word of wisdom, compassion. That is really the devotions. Joy and appreciation. And then confidence. Confidence, why? We, for example, we investigate and analyze of the nature of the mind. It said it's emptiness, it's clarity. We went through this one after another, not just they said and we follow that, believe on that. But our intelligence, we put is true or not. In a way, we refined it, we corrected, we went through this, and we saw, as they said, it's true. There we don't have any other answers and thoughts. Therefore, confidence. It's true. And the compassion is so powerful. Love is so powerful. We really see it. Without the compassion and love, there is no peace in the world. No peace. External material progress, what we see, I mean, this is maybe the one of the peak of the material progress in human history, maybe. Maybe. But if those are carried by the materials and no heart, how many people get joy and peace? Even the most richest person, the most famous person, they rely on the external substance to have some peace and calmness. And they ended up maybe dying, lost their lives. And therefore, compassion and love is truly so important. It's part of the nature of the mind. Often his own, the Dalai Lama said, the scientists proved that compassion and love is part of the mind. Really, heard that. Said, I didn't really know those scientists what said, but it's part of the nature. Without the love and the compassion, there is no peace, no harmonies. If we carry it by the force of ego clinging, let ego clinging rules our phenomena or our appearance. The peace is gone, joy is gone, harmony is gone, friendship is gone, completely. So therefore, how beautiful, how natural, what we inherited, how beautiful. Be trusted, be happy, be appreciated with that. Combination of that, now we're activating by the teaching, activating that nature, you more glorify that. Yes, and so therefore, this even the word devotions, whatever you use, but is joy and appreciation and confidence. Okay, thank you. Thank you, yes, please.
Rinpoche, I've been in this group with John Paul studying this book, and at the very end comes Tsewang Dongyal. And then you spoke to it a little bit now and talked about the meditation technique and the eyes open. But I've always had the feeling that those are very advanced practices that maybe you need to have empowerments and other accomplishments before you can get to Tsewang Dongyal. And if a practitioner is still, perhaps we could say, working on shamatha, vipassana, is Tsewang Dongyal something that you come to later? And when you give instructions, are you speaking to people who are advanced practitioners?
Generally, it's true. When you practice Tsewang and Dongyal practices, definitely you should receive the empowerment and instructions, and also to do these practices. Often, according to lineage teaching, you should do many basic ground foundation practices. Basic practices. Those are known as Ngundro practices.
Like finishing a Ngundro before.
Ngundro practices. But while you're practicing Ngundro, you can practice Tsewang practices. Definitely. It's not something that you cannot touch it there. But trying to keep the Ngundro practices as a foundation practice, then together with that, as I said last night too, that really do a little more shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation will become foundation of to bring the realization of the Tsewang meditation. So do really a little bit shamatha meditation. Even at the beginning of the session of your Tsewang meditation, I will say, if you have time, 5 minutes, really good shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation, that will settle down, help to mind, settle down, or it will anchor down our mind, busyness, that will anchor, and then you do the Tsewang meditation. Tsewang meditation and the Vipassana meditation is generally similar, I mean same thing, but techniques are a little different. Shamatha generally, Vipassana just meditating on the emptiness that. But in the Tsewang meditation, immediately going to the mind and meditating on the nature of the mind, or be in the maintaining nature of the mind. So therefore, Dzogchen teaching always said, when you are meditating on the mind, the nature of the mind, that moment, actually you really behold nature exactly as it is. Exactly as it is. And without any theory, without the intellectual as it is, you behold. And Vipassana, general Vipassana meditation, maybe our meditation Vipassana is more theory, more kind of analytic status. But Dzogchen is beyond the analytic. Instantly you connect to the nature as that is. So that is because by the techniques, and they're slightly different, but other than Vipassana and the Dzogchen meditation, the nature is the same, or the same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And yeah.
Rinpoche, when you say rest and relax and reflect, how are you using the word reflect? What do you mean?
Rest and relax and reflect. Reflect, I mean continue to maintain. Continue to maintain in that nature as it is. And when you're reflecting, there's nothing subject and objects. Both are merged in one single state beyond the analytic and beyond the conception. So I can use that relax, rest and relax and reflect. So reflecting the beauty of the Dharmakaya, on the simple state of Dharmakaya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rinpoche, this morning you spoke about forceful meditation.
What?
This morning you spoke about meditation being too forceful.
Mm-hmm.
In the line of thinking of that, I have a friend that is a Dharma practitioner, and they've been practicing Dharma for maybe 2 years. They have a 40-hour-a-week job. They don't make a lot of money, but they are spending all the money that they make going to Dharma events, and it's now caused them to have a lot of hardship financially, to the point that they could lose their job or that kind of thing. It's almost like they're addicted to going to teachings and empowerments. What advice would you give to someone that is kind of going overboard? And
that is, when I say the forceful meditation, I'm not saying how they do it in the post meditation or when they're not practicing. I'm not saying that. I'm talking this morning post meditation means during the meditation, during the practice of that meditation, we should not forceful kind of trying to concentrate it so much and so strongly and restricted the attitude of the mind and meditate. That is really what I'm talking this morning, and not forceful that. But however, what you said, that is great. Gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni lay out so beautifully, and that's called free from the two extremes. Conduct should be free from two extremes. The conduct should be free from the extremely ascetic practices, and conduct should be free from the extreme, or maybe I don't have to use extreme, from the ascetic practices, and at the same time from the very luxurious status. And between that, in the gracious teacher, compassionate teacher, Buddha said, is the middle path. So not swinging to either side, but keep the strength of the joy and appreciation. Again, we're talking the confidence, and keep the practices. So this not become the extreme either side. And I will say, So that's.
thank you.
Thank you for the teaching, Rinpoche. I have a question about, as you discussed, somebody's doing really well. And
What?
Somebody's doing really well, and people say, oh, they're good, and good things start coming their way, and as they go on, and they say, oh, this is good, I'm doing well, I should need to continue doing this thing I'm doing because it benefits so many, and then at some point, it's kind of like they fall off the head of the pin, and then many things that are considered negative would come their way. Is that because of one, karma, two, because they grasped at themselves being good rather than remaining in the essence, and labeling or judging good and bad? And the second part of this question, part B, is are these experiences necessary to have on the path with Dojin to be able to, I'm just going to toss a word out, we haven't said this, but omniscient in the sense of understanding others, and what these...
Yes, hot water is fine. Really, thank you. Yes, please.
And what these other areas would be for, when we see things as negative, they in fact are not negative. This is a labeling. Is it that fall? Is it a downfall like that?
Sorry, I just have to. Could you summarize that? I can't wait to.
There's question A and question B, and question A has two parts. And
okay, then just first ask the first part, and then you.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you for the tittering in the room. Say again, please.
So you ask me first one.
First one.
Yeah.
When you spoke of someone who's doing quite well, and the reason things build up for them to be doing quite well, okay, then they sort of have a downfall. And they sort of have a downfall that they should have seen it coming perhaps, but is the reason one or the other or both that it is karma, or is it because they slip on their view out of conduct in making the mistake of labeling good, I'm doing good, which invites the comparative, the dualistic of bad, or of coming out of just being in the essence?
Mm-hmm. I think this is just all those are true.
It's all true?
All true.
Okay. Part B.
All come from, all reason, it could be come from karma. But karma, we should not think karma, always every karma is have to become previous lives. This life will create many karmas too.
Yes.
So our kind of present karma means action, activity.
Yes, yes.
So our present activity can also reflect it to this present time too.
Yes, yes.
So therefore, it could be all of those combinations can arise.
Okay. Part B is it necessary to have these experiences that might be viewed as negative or downfall at that level of the path, even there at that level of the path? Is it necessary to have those experiences to have an understanding?
I think so. Those experiences generally comes the kind of many times it naturally comes, and whether we expected or not expected, those according to the teaching or what I heard, those are comes. Kind of it just show up those things unexpectedly, and or maybe sometimes expectedly, but it comes up. Then if you, that's what you have to do. With your capability, turn that into the path. The path, not P-A-S-S, these things. P-A-S, that, of course, that will pass. That will pass, that if we keep maintaining. Okay. Thank you, yeah. We are Josh.
Hi. Thank you very much for the teachings, Khenpo.
Thank you.
As I'm listening, joy and gratitude seem so central to being able to connect with our nature.
Uh-huh.
And I am a palliative care nurse practitioner. I work with people who are terminally ill and who are dying. And oftentimes I meet patients within a few days of the time that they've been told that they only have a few months to live. And when I meet with them, they have such a hard time. They're in a place where they can't connect at all to joy. They can't connect to things that they're grateful for. And I'm wondering if you might have any advice on how I can be a support and service to them.
Also these people, for example, those are the kind of last stages of their lives. It really is so important if we can connect to or help to them to the joy and appreciation. If they have some beliefs, trying to connect to that, whatever the belief is, we're not going to make any kind of or suggest that this and that, but whatever the belief they have, trying to connect to that belief. According to the teaching of the Buddha, Guru Pema Sambhava said that that stage is really not trying to change the beliefs or this and that, but just really, if they have some beliefs, trying to connect to that beliefs. And it's so important to leave this world with some confidence, some goals, some projections. So that if they have beliefs on the heavens, explain the beauty of the heaven, that you are the one of the people that will go to the heavens. Really, that create that projection, kind of link that. And then also, if you can, and if you know those individuals, their kind of fulfillment in their lives. And whatever they have the fulfillment, kind of make that nicely. And you are the one of the good person that you fulfilled so many good things in this world. You have wonderful families, or you did this and that, and whatever you know. Really let kind of strengthen those so the mind has some confidence, some kind of feel comfortable. That comfortable, this confidence will become the cushion of to the next levels in the teaching set. It really will help to them. So therefore, anything that you can help that. If they passed away or they just now lost the breath, then maybe you can also help since you're practitioners. Then in the teaching set, then it don't make the difference. So then maybe do some practice and meditation of the Buddhas or the Buddha Amitabha and chant some mantra quietly and feel their presence and purify their as the obscurations, as the kind of our practice kind of apply that, it really will help. Because once this body is separated between consciousness, then that they don't have much hindrance of the way thinking is kind of now changing. So then it really will help that. Whatever you have the thought, that really will help to them. Thank you.
One more
Yes,
question.
yes, thank you.
So somebody had a question over here.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. Thank you very much. I find myself, hi.
Yeah, thank you.
I find myself wanting to ask about, I have a great connection to feeling my own shutdown when I meditate, or that the world is becoming, and I've had that experience here, so I know it's both, like, I was quite inspired, and yet I found myself shutting down, like feeling a little overwhelmed, and I often find myself in the world, there's so much going on, and it's as you say, like, I could be overwhelmed by how extraordinary moments are, or I'm more particularly overwhelmed right now by how out of control I feel things are. And the thoughts that happen, even in a beautiful setting like this, I can become quite scared because I feel like, well, it's impermanent, so it's all going to go away anyway. But if you could just speak about that overwhelm, like, I don't know. And then I get aggressive about it. You know, I get aggressive with myself about trying to do something or improve my practice so that and maybe it's that I put pressure or something, I don't know. maybe it's an act of forceful, if it's part of being forceful. But I found myself like, I'm not particularly tired, but I would just feel myself, and I've had that in meditation retreats where I'll just like doze off, you know.
And that is generally is true. In the world, there's so many things going on. Really now, looks like now. But according to the history in the samsara, most of the time been like this. Really, the attempt is not really. Maybe now is maybe a little more intensive because more modern technologies. We not become like kind of localized in a way. We are really globalized. They say this. So every kind of news, everything is what is happening around the world. Almost we kind of like bring that, and so this is a little more kind of than what used to be in history. But otherwise, when you read these stories, it's always like so many things, so many tragedies, so many difficulties, so many troubles really happened. I think in the samsara, this is just what the samsara is, or this world, what the world is always. But it's truly, as you said, it's really overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. But however, we have to strengthen our courage and commitment. And in our inner level, in inward level, when this overwhelming thinking, we should apply such as Dzogchen meditation. Open our heart, open our mind, bring the vastness nature of our mind. So not just a kind of our mind and heart become so tense. Really open that. Kind of do maybe even breathing exercise or exhale. Let all the pressures, overwhelming those thoughts, release in the spaces. Let that transcendental that, and look to your inner mind or your mind. Look to the mind is like open as a sky, as we discussing this morning or this afternoon. It's really like that's what it really truly it is, and just relax and not holding on those all that what is going on. That's what we strengthening, we rejuvenating ourselves in that way. And then same time build up the courage and commitment. And according to Bodhi, in Mahayana teaching, in the Buddha's teaching, Bodhisattva, the practitioner of the Bodhicitta is known as Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva is translated into English, we say, enlightenment, courageous for the enlightenment, courageous ones. So Bodhisattvas are courageous ones. So really we should bring more courageous. We're not just overwhelmed and intimidated by the whatever happening that. With seeing all this situation, even strengthen our courage and commitment, our wishes, aspirations, do whatever we can do with our prayers, with wishing bodhicitta as we discussed last night or this morning, those wishing bodhicittas. Really strengthen, wish so strongly to everyone, all the good things. And then also do the prayers. And you're really doing something so beautiful if we do this. That is what is called contributing something good things for the world. And truly then we become the warrior. We become the courageous ones. Warriors of the enlightenment, courageous ones for the enlightenment, for the good to everyone. So build up the courage. Again, courage and bravery, warriorship is not solid existence. It's hidden quality or natural beauty of our own natural mind. And again, relax on that natural, and embracing, glorifying, and do whatever you can help. But stay more calm, peaceful inwardly, relaxing, and reflecting those beautiful thoughts and prayers to every living being. Then I think really that's what can we do, and that is what is more benefited and to all the beings. So that's what I will say. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, one more maybe. One more, then we stop. There's one more.
To make it brief, if you're sensitive and highly empathic and you absorb a lot of negativity, if it's around you, what's the best way to keep your vibration high to not let the negativity bring you down or fall into it?
Sorry, I didn't hear. It's echoing somehow.
Rinpoche Shu, and correct me if I get it right, that when there's so much negativity, and if a person is sensitive to where you feel so much, when you feel the negativity, if a person is sensitive, she would like some advice, like what can you do to strengthen yourself, to deal. It's very similar like the last young woman's question, like how do we deal in this crazy time with negativity, especially when our heart is tender or we're sensitive? And how to raise your vibration, have more courage.
First, I think these three things. From our side, what I mentioned just now, really from your own self, really trying to bring up those thoughts, what I said, to clear away all the negative vibrations and become more kind of like beautiful atmosphere. Really trying to. That really will help to ourselves. Then second, I will say, feel the presence of such as Buddha, or Gurupema Sambhava, or the Tara. Actually, in the teaching said, this is called Buddhism. This era, what we are now, is a degeneration era of the degenerations. In the degeneration times, in the teaching said, among all the male Buddhas, Gurupema Sambhava is the mostly powerful, swept Buddha of the degeneration times. Among all the female Buddhas, Tara is the most powerful, swept Buddha of the degeneration times. So really feel strong presence of the Buddha and Gurupema Sambhava Tara right in front of our sky, and do some praise of Tara or the Gurupema Sambhava. Moment you start praying to the Tara and Gurupema Sambhava Buddha, and immediately they begin to emanate lot of light of love and compassion, wisdom, and healing lights, and cleansing lights, and spread out the whole universe, the whole world, everywhere, without any kind of like partiality or any discrimination. Completely pervaded that and healed everything, cleansed all the negativities, purified every negativities, and then that light went to the individuals. Also, all everyone's the emotions, the negativity, whatever, completely cleared away. That shine up the beautiful clear light of the wisdom and the compassion and decent, the common sense and knowledge is arising in everyone's heart and mind, and spread out. This universal world become so harmonious, so beautiful. Really with that thought, and chant some mantra of the Tara, mantra of the Gurupema Sambhava, mantra of the Buddha Shakyamuni. And that is really what we can do. And so from our point of view, as I said, with strengthening courage and commitment, all those inspirations, and together with visualize the Buddhas, and then also Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, such as Chinese, all that. So I think really it will cleanse and purify. And then after that, if you have time, do short meditation on the Dzogchen, relax. So that now everything is completely blended in the original natural state, exactly as it is, and then relaxing mind in that state is for few minutes or 1 minute or whatever you can do. So I think really will help. That will cleansing and purify and subside, and it will benefit, I think. Okay. Thank you, okay, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Rinpoche,
Yeah.
so many people have already said thank you, so I'm going to take license and maybe say for everybody, thank you so much for coming, because obviously we have received the 5 perfections: the perfect teacher, the perfect teaching, the perfect place, the perfect time, and hopefully we've been the perfect audience for the teachings. Okay? In the Vajrayana, in the Tantra, we're taught that the inner refuge is Gurudeva Dakini, or in Tibetan, Lama Yidam Khandro, and it says that it's from the teacher that you get the blessings. Okay, so I feel like we have received the blessings from you, from your precious teacher, Dujum Rinpoche, and from the glorious Supreme Teacher, Guru Padma Sambhava, Guru Rinpoche. So thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Oh, thank you again, thank you so much. Again, I said last night, I really mean that. I'm so thankful and so grateful to organize this events and inviting us in this beautiful city, really be there here again one more time, be with you all, and discussing the teaching of the Buddha and Guru Padma Sambhava, His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche, according to my capability. So I thank you for all of that, really to appreciate and participate that. Truly we all are in the good perfect status. I'm not saying I'm perfect teacher. Truly, I'm also have some lineage teachings, definitely. But we all are some degree perfect because we all are timely gathered. Time is not just happened by itself, according to teaching, not coincidental. Truly, we are came together as a timely manner and a timely. So therefore, I'm so thankful, so grateful to everyone. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and thank you very much for all the members of the Zendo and their teacher Robert again inviting us me here be with you all and open the door to this beautiful really temple of the he mentioned the Buddha house, the Buddha temple. So really, so we are with the gracious teacher, our Buddha Shakyamuni, and his places, and I'm so thankful, so grateful. Thank you, okay, thank you very much. And I hope what we discussed, I hope it will some really benefit and inspire you and keep the practices. And then you receive many teachings from other great masters. So keep all these practices. What I said today is nothing really different than what other great masters taught. Is Dzogchen teaching. Dzogchen teaching is the same. Whoever gives Dzogchen teaching is the same Dzogchen teaching. There's not many Dzogchen teachings. So I hope what I said is also some really contributed to support, to activating, to glorify, igniting your understanding or deepening your understanding and benefit. And the most important is, as I mentioned, joy and a joyful effort. And the confidence really keep the practices that, okay? Thank you, okay? And now we dedicated this merit to every living being, as we discussed. There's so many things happening in the world now, and also not just now, in the future too, going to maybe happen, so many things. So from now on, this world become as pure land, and everyone become as like pure beings. Really wish that we dedicated this merit. So I do prayers, and you join with me. Otherwise, I will dedicate the merit and join your intention with my prayers so that we dedicated this merit to everyone.
Shape garje barda denjor je om so den benza yandu juzon zasum chidi bimam jung jinne sunde tu gentu kenje barde hero drbe ko tse dinjen de torze yo sonam de tamje zubgani tomne ni bedana pamse jiga je balong tukwa ye spen solen do ado warjo penden jung ni ji bo temba yo ne ba Temban Zimbe Jiuna, good Jam say dangerous, Zula Kana, Lupa, Katung Jele, Takura Gendin Tamba, Gendin Noyan, Yo, Simje, Namje, dangerous, and Rotam Jeta, Tunjuri, Sanjo Samba, Kanda, Sergio, the Dagun Jamon, the Brayo, Zamne Jeta, Yerkanda, and the Mum so, the Maramet. Shooting son up on Jero Gondon, but Tata Brashi de Lambonzo, Yo, Sanjo, Sanjo, Mochi, Machi Pana, Chipa, Yamba, Meba, Kone, Gondo, and Bever, Joy, Yungan, Uchizon, and Luchi, and Darling Sasam, Jabon, Rojim Chosen, no, Mandra de Sangele,
Okay, thank you everyone again. Thank you.
So if you'd like to come and make an offering to Rinpoche, the traditional the Tibetan katag, the little scarf, or just thank Rinpoche or receive a blessing, you're welcome to do that now. I want to remind everyone that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Rinpoche will be giving the empowerment for Vajrasattva, the adamantine being, the diamond-like nature.